today with a retelling of the classic French folk tale, Puss in Boots, written in the 17th century. His objectives are to tell an entertaining folk tale using vivid imagery and voice to enhance the tale. The time is 7 to 9 minutes. Please welcome John.
The year is 1772, a small village in France. There was a miller. The miller had 3 sons. When he passed on, the oldest son got the mill. The second son got a donkey. And the third son, whose name is Ben, got a cat. Ben was despondent. What in the world am I going to do with a cat? What good is a cat? Well, the cat was nearby. The cat came over and said, Ben, don't worry. I will make your fortune for you, but you've got to do as I instruct. Ben said, how could it get worse? Sure, I'll play along. Well, it was about to get worse because the cat's first instruction was to spend the last of Ben's money on a pair of fine new boots, shiny brown, that went up to his little cat knees. The other instruction was, I need a sack with a drawstring, a strong sack with a drawstring. Ben provided that and said, I shall now call you Puss in Boots. Puss went to the forest where he knew rabbits lived, loaded his sack with seed, laid down next to the sack, acted as if he was dead. When a rabbit jumped in the sack to eat the seeds, Puss pulled the string, rabbit is in the bag. He didn't take it home to Ben, though, who was reasonably hungry by this point. Instead, he took it to the king, who had a summer palace in the area, walked in, did a deep courtly bow, and said, Your Majesty, I have come to present you a gift from my master, the Count of Carabas. It's a fine rabbit for your dinner. The king. Everybody likes to get gifts. The king was very pleased with the gift and said, thank you, my good cat. And my, don't I like those boots. Puss, every day, would go to the forest and catch something different. Quail, fish, other rabbits, and present those to the king. In about a month, the king and Puss were good friends. And the king gave Puss a fine hat with purple plumes that indicated he was a special friend of the king, as well as a bag of gold. Puss took the gold back to Ben. Ben was ecstatic. They could finally have a good meal. And Puss said, this is nothing, Ben. Tomorrow, by the end of the day, you will have ridden in a carriage with the king and his beautiful daughter, the princess. And you will have a fine castle. Okay, let's do it. But again, you have to follow my instructions. Early the next morning, Puss instructed Ben to get in the river, take off all his clothes, wash up very well, and stay in the river until Puss told him to get out. He's in the river. He's cold. Here comes the king's carriage. Puss jumps out and says, Your Majesty, we've got a horrible situation. My master, the Count of Carabas, was taking a swim this morning. Thieves came by and stole his horse and his clothes. Now my master cannot get out of the river. The king said, I will send my footman at once back to get some royal clothes, bring them back, and we'll dress your master appropriately. Puss thanked him and took off down the road just as quick as his little cat feet could carry him. The second part of Puss's plan for the day was to convince the king that the Count, Ben, owned property in a castle. The way he did this was to run down the road. He stopped at a wood that was actually owned by an evil magician. Peasants were working in the wood. He said, when the king comes by, you peasants will tell the king that the Count of Carabas owns this wood, or I will come back, cut you up into little pieces and make you into sausage. The peasants looked at Puss. He had fine boots. He had the hat indicating he was a special friend of the king. They said, yes, sir, we'll do it. Sure enough, the king comes by. They do exactly as instructed. Puss, in the meantime, has gone down to a fine grain field, ready for harvest. Peasants are working in the grain field. Does the same thing. Sure enough, the king comes by, says, my fine people, who owns this field? The Count of Carabas. By that time, Ben is getting really nervous. He's in the carriage with the king and the king's daughter, the princess. He doesn't have any idea how he's going to pull off actual ownership of these things when the awful truth comes to light, but he decides to play along. Puss has come through so far. Puss goes to the castle of the magician, marches right in, sits down, says, my master is a great fan of magic. He'd like to come and pay you to entertain him, but we need to make sure that your magic is up to par. The magician said, absolutely. I can change myself into animals, and changed himself into a bear. Ran around the room, scared Puss to death. When he changed back into a magician, Puss said, well, a bear is so near you. A bear is large and hairy, and you're large and hairy. We need to have something else, perhaps a deer. The magician turns himself into a deer, prances around the room. Puss said, truly impressive, but can you turn yourself into the most humble and small of animals, a mouse? The magician turns himself into a mouse, and Puss jumps and gobbles that mouse up just like that. Well, by this time, the carriage is pulling into the castle. Puss greets the carriage, announces that the king and his beautiful daughter have arrived at the castle of the Count of Carabas. Ben plays along. Soon, Ben is married to the princess, and Puss has been designated Prime Minister of France. and you'll recall last week we talked about the fact that France was our oldest friend and provided, among other things, the French Navy to help us win the Revolutionary War. Well, recall this story takes place in 1772. What you don't know, Puss organized the French Navy to intervene in 1776. Mr. Toastmaster. Wow.